Tavares.
Right in the butt?
What?
No.
Less than a minute now.
Tool time for 200.
This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Ken?
What's a hoe?
No.
Spell garbage.
Garbitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's Monk Dan, and I'm back here streaming. I'm thankful to be streaming. Thank you for viewing the channel. Today we're going to be briefly talking about Casanova Chapter 4, Zelmi. Before I do that, I want to tell you about my stream. Pretty much on this stream, I like to seek and share wisdom through philosophy. This will be a short stream because this chapter, Zelmi, it was so I'm noticing a pattern here with some of these chapters. I'm in chapter 4 now of Casanova. Well, I just finished chapter 4, and I noticed something. The author names these chapters after women, but the chapter is not fully about these women. Case in point, this chapter here. I noticed this with the previous chapters, but now I'm starting to see it's becoming it's just overbearing, if you will, or apparent. So chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called Zelmi or Zelmi, one of the other, however you pronounce it. I do apologize for the mispronunciation of the name. So briefly, chapter 4, Casanova is still doing what Casanova does. He's steady getting in trouble. He finally makes it to the city he was supposed to arrive to. I mean, he's every fucking where. I mean, because at one point I'm like, did he make it to the city or the island he was supposed to make it to? He's been all over the fucking place. I believe he did make it there. And he's meeting so many people. He's drinking. He's hanging out. He's doing all these things, man. And so he runs into this guy, this wealthy older guy. And I don't know where they're at. Please forgive me. Because it's so all over the place. So he meets this guy, this wealthy guy. I'm just going to say he's Turkish. And the reason why I say that he's Turkish is because he hints that he has wealth and he wants Casanova to convert to Muslim, to be a Muslim. He wants to send him back to Turkey. And he wants him to, I guess, like go through the training to become a Muslim. And the reason being in all of this is because the older man is saying, hey, I want you to marry my daughter, Zelmi. And the thing is, Casanova's like, I want to see her, you know? And the dude is like, no, I don't want you to see her. I just want you to do what follow this procedure. You cannot see her until you go through all the steps of becoming a Muslim, and you'll see her, you'll marry her, and what it is, the caveat, if you will, is you get all the riches. So this is a wealthy guy, and he's like, yo, you'll get all my riches. You know, he's like, this is my daughter. I have to take care of her in a sense. So if you marry her, you get all the money. You will become wealthy. You get everything. And so Casanova's like, he's kind of like, I don't know, you know, so he's kind of playing it off, passing it off a little bit. But eventually there's a situation. It was kind of odd how they've worded it, which was confusing to me. So Casanova eventually gets a chance to almost fuck her, right? At first, the way that they structured it, it seemed as though Casanova thought it was his wife that he was about to fuck. But then it seemed as though, okay, it was Zelmi, because once again, he never seen the daughter. So he was confused in a sense. if I have everything correctly, if I understood everything correctly. So he's like, he's about to fuck, and then I guess the father comes in or something like that, and then Casanova just takes off running and some shit like that. It's just all over. Casanova is all over the fucking place. In this chapter, he's participating in rape. Excuse me, YouTube. Grape. He's participating in grape this time. He meets his brother, and so now he's hanging out with his brother. They're doing a lot of mischievous things. I mean, they're becoming a menace. Him, and he's in a little group of guys, and then that's how they participate in this grape. There were some charges brought against him, or the husband of the lady that was raped. They bring some charges, but they never got penalized because one of the guys, the leader of the group, was a nobleman, so they got a pass. But then somehow some higher up people, they knew really what happened, and so they had their eye on Casanova. So I mean, it was just a whole bunch of craziness. Like, there was nothing that really that stood out. There was one incident where so after all of this craziness, like having all these situations happen, Casanova then what's going on, Luigi, man? What's happening, man? Casanova then he kind of calms down in a sense where he then becomes a musician. He doesn't want to be a musician. He doesn't like the aspect of being a musician, but he needs money, so he has to do this, and he kind of relies on the skills that he was taught when he was in Padua. So he learned these skills. So he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll do whatever I have to do to survive in a sense. So this one particular night, he does his thing, and the group that the musician groups that he's in, they're just as crazy. They do crazy shit as well. So anyway, this one particular night, he sees this guy drop a letter. As he's getting on the boat, he sees him drop a letter, and then he picks up the letter and he takes it to the guy, and the guy turns out to be a wealthy guy, and so he's like, yeah, you need a ride? Come on with me. And then eventually this guy, while on the boat, he goes into a stroke or some sort of conk, like a stroke of some sense. And so Casanova saves the day by getting some medical attention to him. And lo and behold, this is a high-ranking guy. And this guy, he saves his life. And apparently this guy had a brother, and he and his brother, they were enemies and some shit like that. And then this guy, he has some sort of doctor come and try to take care of him. Casanova notices some shit that this guy was actually killing him. So I guess the author was hinting that maybe this could have been the works of the brother. Who knows? It was kind of confusing. But anyway, Casanova said, he kind of spots what's happening with the doctor, putting this sort of ointment on the guy. He's like a senator. He's a senator. And Casanova kind of saves the day by saying, hey, he points it out like, hey, this stuff that this dude is putting on his chest, it's not working. And then he saves his life again. Eventually, the senator becomes healthy and wealthy and stuff. I mean, not healthy. He gets back to the Senate, but then he's like, this guy, he's a high individual, but he got duped. He got duped by Casanova because the senator is seeking some sort of spiritual. He's looking for some sort of spiritual, like, my boy, like wow, you have to be some sort of I forgot the wording that they use, some sort of I don't want to say savior, but someone of that sort, to where like, wow, you saved my life, you know a lot of things. And Casanova, being Casanova, a guy with the mouthpiece, he's like I don't want to say a trickster. He's just very smooth in knowing how to say things, and so he says all of these things, and he gains favor with the guys. And so they were kind of, trying to seek, like, testing him, and he was so smooth with it where he made it to where, like, they stopped testing him. And he was, he being Casanova, that was that situation. There was another situation that the chapter kind of ended toward this situation where this lady, she's like she's like a high official lady, but she's like a daughter of some sort. Her name was Constantine. These names are very weird to me. They're very difficult to pronounce. But anyway, she's like the daughter of somebody very important, and so she's approaching the island, and Casanova sees her, and he approaches her and takes her to the bar and everything. So she's like, I'm looking for this guy who broke my heart. He was supposed to marry me. And Casanova, Casanova is like this guy that wants to fuck everything, but he's kind of reluctant towards her. But he's like, who you looking for? He was like, let me see the letter. So she hands him the letter, and it's a high-ranking guy. He's like some sort of, I don't want to say secretary, but he's something of that sort. Like he does some sort of administrative work. And so he's like, oh yeah, this is such and such and such. And so she was like, well, take me to him. And he was like, wait, hold on. Before I do that, he was like, he was kind of being like a middleman, but then he was kind of hinting towards being a dirty Mac, if you will. If you don't know what a dirty Mac is, a dirty Mac is a guy who is like between a guy and a woman, but he's trying to intervene in a way so he can fuck. So Casanova is kind of hinting to that, but he's kind of pulling back because usually Casanova would just pounce on the shit. But somehow, some reason, he was kind of reluctant. And so he went to go find the guy. The dude came up missing. Everybody was like, man, the dude is dead because, he did this to this lady. Like, he was supposed to marry her. He wooed her and fucked her for about 3 days and laid up with her and shit. So she thinks she about to get married. He pulled like some Casanova type shit. And so it turned out the dude became some sort of priest or some shit like that. He ran off. And Casanova kind of changed the lady's perspective because she was all out, she's super emotional. So she looking for the dude, and Casanova kind of calms her down and, with his words and shit. And then all of a sudden Casanova starts to like her a bit. But then he still didn't really pounce on it. He was hinting at it, trying to, testing it a little bit, but he didn't pounce on it. But it turned out that he did not do it. And it was just a weird chapter, man. It was a lot going on. This dude Casanova, man, he is all over the fucking place, man. And he's 20 right now. He's 20 years old. And he's going through all of these experiences, man. I'm like, what the fuck? But once again, I don't understand why the author named it Zelmi when she wasn't even the main bitch in the goddamn chapter. Like, she was just like a small bit of the chapter. I'm like, why would they name the chapter after her? I don't get this. So that's one thing about this author, Lawrence Bergreen. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like the first chapter, they named the first chapter after his mom, but I'm like, his mom was not even the main woman in his life. His mom was a hoe, and his mom was not in his life. It was his grandmother who was more in his life than his mom. So I'm like, why is the author naming chapters of women that's not important in his life? I'm like, that's super confusing. Like, and then how the author is structuring the storyline of Casanova, it's all over the place. Like, give me things that are very monumental rather than every detail of his life, which is fine. I would like to know it, but it gets very confusing because Casanova is a busy guy. I mean, this dude stays active, man. Holy shit. I remember when I was 20, I'm like, damn, man, I was all over the place. So and this dude is way over the place than I was at 20. So it's like, damn, having to recapture all these moments. I'm like, damn, fuck. So I was like, man, this is going to be a quick one, man. Because I didn't really get anything that was worth having a really in-depth conversation about with this chapter. I didn't get anything from it, man, in terms of like, yo, okay, let's talk about this. Like the previous chapter, how he was torn, if you will, between trying to fuck with this what's her name, Belina. What was her name? Let me get this chick's name. Belino. He was trying to fuck with Belino, but he didn't know if Belino was a boy or a girl. And then what was crazy about that chapter was, you know, they couldn't the young boys' the genitals off and shit. It was like, so that was pretty important to talk about. I was like, yo, let's talk about that shit. But this chapter, it was like, it was the same old Casanova doing what Casanova does. And I'm like, okay, Zelmi. Okay, all right, who is Zelmi? I'm excited. Okay, she's the daughter of some really wealthy guy. And the wealthy guy was like, yo, you can have my daughter, but you got to become a Muslim. And then if you do that, then you can get her. And then I'll give you all what you want. You'll become a wealthy man. You can get land, so on and so forth. And Casanova was like, But then he actually meets the daughter. And then he's kind of like, all right, I might fuck you, you know. At first, she was like pushing him off because she was like, oh, so you'll fuck me knowing that you're in my father's house or some shit like that. And then that's what Casanova was like, oh, shit. And then she was like, but you want to fuck me, right? And so it was like this little crazy pattern right there. And then that's when the father came in and Casanova just took the fuck off, ran. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would that be the main title of chapter 4? Like, why would that bitch be the name? You know, like, he didn't even really see her face. I'm like, damn, this dude, he done fucked all these bitches along the way. Like, why is that bitch so important, man? I don't know, man. This is gonna be a short one here, bro. Unless there was something else that one we want to talk about. I don't know, man. This is a short one. I didn't like this chapter. I didn't like this. It was nothing that I could pull from and talk about. But I did want to make a stream. I'm dedicated to making streams, and I wanted to do that. So, yeah, man. I'm gonna end the stream on a good one here, man. On a quick one. So, yeah. As always, man. Peace, man. It's getting crazy, as it always is, man. But be kind to yourself. Man, ain't nobody gonna do it but you. So be kind to yourself. All right?
Just let me eat you one term. You gonna sleep for 3 days, my baby. I'm gonna make you cry.
How you gonna show us?
Ay, ay, ay.